in this video we are continuing with the trigonometric section, and what we want to specifically look at today is coterminal angles. So I'm just going to put that up there and I'm going to say, well, we're talking about coterminal angles. Right, so what exactly are coterminal angles? Well, if I get started, let me get some let me get a coordinate system going there. Right, and now as you know how coordinate systems work is I've got 0 degrees on this side, right? I've got 90 degrees over there, I got 180 degrees over there, and then 270 degrees over there. So if I were to take a line, and I'm going to draw a line over here, my line over there is blue, right? And I'm going to say that that line makes an angle of 30 degrees with the horizontal. That line makes an angle of 30 degrees with the horizontal. Now let's talk about revolutions. Before we continue here, let's talk about revolutions. Revolutions, right? Now, I'm not talking about political constructs where we need to overthrow governments right now, although we will think about that another day. But I'm talking about when I move 360 degrees. Now let's say you take a vehicle and you've got some 12th graders, they're driving in vehicles and they are doing 360 degree turns. Now, if this is my car and I do a 360 degree turn, what I'm going to do is that's 180, and then I'm going to move there, that's a 360 degree turn. Okay, and that's really what I then notice is there I've turned 180 degrees, and then I've turned 360 in total, 180 plus another 180. I end up at the exact same spot, and that's really what we're talking about when we refer to coterminal angles. So if I were to go one back and I'm going to say, well, what exactly is coterminal angles? These are angles. Coterminal angles are angles that terminate at the same point. That terminate at the same point. So let's see, and now using our knowledge that we know moving 180 degrees will land up at moving 360 degrees means we'll end up at the same point. Now let's say I have this point here, or any point on that line, that would make a 30 degree angle with the horizontal. Now let's assume I were to move 360 degrees from that point. If I were to move 360 degrees from that point, so around that way, I end up at the same point, right? So there, that's going to be plus 360 degrees. Let me write it over here. Plus 360 degrees. Now, let's say, what is that angle actually? That angle, people, that angle, if I were to start here, is going all the way around like that. And so if I move all the way around like that, I'm going to get a solution that says, well, that black angle that stops at that same point or on that same line is going to be 390 degrees. So that means I took the 30 degrees, I added 360, I ended up over there. Now what if I were to move further and I say let's make it red? I'm going to make it also a thin line. I'm going to move, assuming I move from there, let's say I've moved from there now, and I'm going on further and further and further. Can you guess what that angle will be, stopping at that same line? Now you know I've moved 30. When I move 30 plus another 360, I end up at 390. When I add another 360, I'm going to get 750. So that red angle is going to be 750 degrees. And let's just make the pen thin. 750 degrees. So look carefully now. Now we can say that 30 degrees is an angle. When I add 360 degrees plus 360 means I move anti-clockwise. Ooh, mama. Oh, let's just improve on that. Anti-clockwise. I move anti-clockwise. And then minus 360 degrees means I'm going to move this way back to the same point, and that is going to move clockwise. Let's just write that out in full. And now, as you know, coterminal angles are angles that terminate at the same point. So 30 degrees is coterminal with the angle that starts here and goes all the way until there, that black angle, right? That one there is going to be 390 degrees. And then similarly, that is coterminal with the angle that would start here, go the 390, and then all the way another 360 degrees. It's going to be 750. And now we can say that those three angles are coterminal with one another. Okay, so if you're unsure about what I'm doing, just go back and see what this representation means. Okay, so that's coterminal angles. Now let me give you an exercise. Give me three angles for each that are coterminal with this. If I tell you theta is equal to 45 degrees, and I tell you that alpha is going to be, let's make it beta. Beta is equal to 120 degrees. And let's give us a third one there quickly, and let's make it gamma. Gamma is equal to 223 degrees. So angles that are coterminal with 45, remember all I need to do is add 360. So if I said 45 plus 360, that should give me 405. That's coterminal with that. It's 405 degrees. 45 minus 360 is also coterminal. It just means I'm going to move in the clockwise direction. So minus 315 degrees is also coterminal. And let's take one more. It's 45 plus 360 plus another 360 is going to be 45 plus 720, which is 765. Right, 120 plus 360, 360 plus 120 will give me 480. Right, 480 degrees, that's coterminal with that. And similarly, if I subtract 360, I will get minus 340 degrees. And that's also a coterminal angle. So now, I want you to build on this. When you have coterminal angles, something you must know is that the ratios of the angle and the ratio of any angle coterminal to it, in other words, sine of 45 will be exactly the same as sine of 405, which will be exactly the same as sine of minus 315. Because they are coterminal, they're dealing with the same point. Right. Okay, so that's, did I say minus 340? I meant minus 240. Minus 240. So as you can see, I've added 360 and I've subtracted 360. Now if I were to add two 360s, plus 120 is going to give me 840. And there we go. So as you can see, that's the idea. Now you can complete it for this. So the general thing is to find an angle coterminal to another. A coterminal angle. All I need to do is add or subtract 360 degrees. So I will say plus or minus n times 360, where n is a multiple of 360. And you can make n an element of z, or you can make n an element of the natural numbers, because I've already put plus minus here. Okay, so there we go. N is an element plus minus 360. Okay, to find a coterminal angle.